Hello and welcome to our new lesson about ArcSight ESM, which is actually the first chapter in the ArcSight ESM 101 document that we downloaded in the previous video. In this lesson, we will learn about ArcSight ESM, user roles, and user passes through ESM. So let's switch to the document. The first chapter, as I said, is about ArcSight ESM. It's give you quick introduction on the main features of the ESM, that it's a security intelligence solution that combine information from multiple log sources and make correlation, as we can see here. It has features like anomaly detection, network intelligence when it combines the logs together and put information about the network model and whether the log endpoints, the source is coming from inside or from the outside or coming from the Wi-Fi, DMZ. So network intelligence, historical analysis, as we will learn about the historical correlation and the long-term correlation. Here in this section, it speak about the ESM and ESM Express and the differences between them, where ESM, as we said, it's a software based, while ESM Express is an appliance, and there are a few different licensing options between the two solutions. And here it's talking about the embedded database of the ESM, which is called Correlation Optimized Retention and Retrieval Core Engine, which is supports high speed searches, high event rates processing. As I said in the previous video, Getting the Material, this book introduces the underlying concepts behind how ESM works, the features. So we'll try to go through these features as we learn in this course. Next, we have the user roles. The user roles is the concept of defining different user groups and user profiles, and this is managed in ArcSight through something called ArcSight control lists to manage the user access to certain function and resources. And throughout this document we will come across these two concepts for the users and user groups and the access control lists. Actually, this parts I will make them after we make the installation in the lab for the ESM and open the console, and we learn together the console interface and the different resources. Then we can come to these concepts and learn them in detail. Here are our example of the default user groups and roles available in ESM. So they have a user role called administrator. It's part of the user group administrators. They have and these are the authorities and privileges that this user can do. In brief, he is responsible for overseeing the installation of the system and maintaining overall system health. So we will find privileges like design and maintain workflow, data storage maintenance and archiving, maintain the health of the manager. This is all the default privileges assigned to the administrator. Actually, he's able to do everything. Another role is the author. The author is one part of the default user group, analyzer administrators. He's responsible for developing use cases, developing the content of the ArcSight. So The role oversees the content that shapes the nature and direction of how investigation are conducted in the Security Operations Center or the SOC. So it identify the use cases, develop and test correlation content. So this is actually a best practice, you can say, by Micro Focus um, for designing or for that help you give you methodology on how to define your user profiles and the different type of stakeholders that deal with the ArcSight ESM. Operator, this is one of the default user groups slash operator. The operator is watching the active channels, create annotations, create cases, forward events to analysts for further investigation. So you can consider the operator as level 1, and this is a common convention in the SOC world, the security operation centers, that you have level 1 and level 2 will be the analyst. The operator can escalate one event to an analyst for more investigation, and the analyst may come with some conclusions or some recommendations to be implemented and escalated further to the author to be configured. So this is just a default users profiles and groups, but still you can customize and make your own tailoring or tailored to your SOC or your organization. So that's it for the no, still we have the business user and super user. This is the business user uses ESM to communicate system conditions to other stakeholders using metrics. Okay, so this is not a user with editing capabilities, or it's just looking after some dashboards, some reports, and communicate the business metrics to other stakeholders for business evaluation and maybe governance and monitoring. Super user wear many hats within the security operations center. So the super user is, you can say, the super admin who can do anything. So he's part of the administrator groups, the administrator group, and he can uh, again he sometimes wear the hat of the author to make authoring of content. He can wear the hat of the analyst to recommend and implement responses. He can wear the hat of even the operator to watch some some active channels and logs and so on. User passes through ASM. This graph give you the passes or the which documentation you can refer to for information about each rule. So if you are administrator, you need to look after the installation and configuration guide for the ESM, administration guide, upgrade guides, smart connector user guides. So we'll try in our bootcamp course to came across many of the topics explained inside these documents. If you are operator or an analyst, so the compliance inside packages, you remember we talked about this for HIPAA, for medical sector, BCI DSS for banking sector. This solution guides for the compliance side packages would be an interest for this operators analyst roles. The author solution guides as well to take notes how to configure them, because he is the author. Those guys are just reactively working on the output of this guy of this packages. And the ESM 101, the one we are working on or explaining, I'm explaining from it, is the core or the common resource that everyone can utilize to get familiar with the ArcSight ecosystem. Um, the interfaces here for the ArcSight ESM is two, ArcSight console and ArcSight command center. And here the documentation for both is useful as well for all type of users that will be using the ESM. So that's it for this video, for this lesson, and I will see you in the next video.